Hello, everyone. In this video, I want to get into the Tana offline feature that they've just introduced in their desktop application. One thing quick to note is that it is only available for the desktop version of their application. I've already tried it on the iPhone and it does not work on there. So yes, we have to wait for the mobile apps to catch up with the desktop version of the app if we want offline on all of our devices. So right now, the offline capability is being said that it will download all of your information locally. You don't have to pick and choose which content that you want to have offline. Everything will just get offline or be available offline when everything obviously syncs to your device. Working with the offline capability is fairly easy from my initial workings with it. I am not a day-to-day Tana user, so this particular application is still fairly new to me. I've downloaded it a long time ago, but once I found out that the offline capability wasn't coming anytime soon, and this is over a year ago when I first got introduced to the application, I basically just stopped looking at it, put it on the shelf, and now that offline capabilities are here, I do want to start kicking the tires on this just to see how it works and fulfill my curiosity of this application, just to see what it does and what it possibly could do for me. Now, they have been changing a little bit of the application to entice more people to start using it. It was pretty complicated back when I took a look at it over a year ago, and it's probably gotten a lot more complicated with AI and some of the features that they've added in here. And just saying foundationally, the way they've architected the app is catered to more complexity. But with complexity comes a lot of flexibility and value. So I'm not going to knock that. But for a lot of people, they might want something a little bit simpler out of the box. But on another note, let's just stick to the offline capabilities here. If I go offline here, I'm just sitting on a daily note here. What I want to do is turn off the internet on my device. One thing I wanted to see with this feature is how soon would it detect that I am offline? And if I start browsing through and content here, we can see that quickly once I started adding content, it doesn't seem to care if I'm just browsing around and reading stuff that's already synced. But as soon as I add content here that it needs to sync back to the cloud, is when we start to see this icon here starts churning, trying to reconnect back to the cloud. And then after a time, what will happen is this message pops up basically saying the connection has been lost and that it's been trying to reconnect. And then it'll ask you if you want to, or if you are expecting to be offline for a long time here or for a while, as it states here. And then you can click this button to work offline in a more intentional way. So we'll click work offline. This icon here shows you that you are working offline and that's been set. And you can come into the app and everything seems to work as expected when you're offline. So the things that won't work are obviously things that need the internet in order to work, like some of the AI features. But other than that, coming into the app and browsing around, everything seems to work fairly well. If I come in here, let me see if that one of these, this audio is not working here. Go back to the inbox and I have another capture here. And these are some old captures that I did. You can see here, this was in early February of last year and it's not playing. So that's interesting to see that this is not playing. If it was offline, then it should actually just play here in the application, but it's not playing. So that's interesting. When I put it back online, I'll have to see if the act plays. And this is again just me testing, kicking the tires on their offline capability to see what will work and what won't work, irrelevant of what's being put out there and said in the announcements. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing back on. I mentioned before, everything seems fluid. I was able to search previously. Search was quick. The app worked very well offline. This here is something here that is new. I haven't clicked around into one of these where I have had an audio file and I haven't tested this yet. So it was interesting to see that it did not work. Okay, so just now, just about to type something, and I noticed that the little green indicator light here on the working offline button has popped up. And this is just an indicator letting us know that we're back online. It has connectivity or it sees connectivity. And do we want to go online? And yes, I want to go back online. Let me do this. It takes a little bit here. You'll see it doing this little refresh here. It does take a little bit for this to happen. You can see how long that took. And I only typed in probably 2 or 3 additional words in there that it would have to sync back. So a little interesting to see how long that took to sync. And they also synced in the foreground. So maybe that's something that they could push to the background that users don't see because you have to wait for that to finish in order to even use the rest of the app. So in here, what I want to see here is one, will this play now? Okay, so the audio will now play, and it's interesting to see that did not work when I was offline. So when, I don't know, when they say you don't have to pick and choose content to actually download, I guess there are some things that will not work, like the audio files here. If you're a Tana user, let me know what your experience has been and am I missing something here? But this is really just a first look at the offline capability. I want to kick the tires on this application and get some of the other features and see what's capable of this application, just in case there's something that might be of value for me. I'm going to stick to the free tier instead of going full blown into some of the pro versions where I can do additional things, just to see where I will reach that point to where I think I might need to actually start paying for the application. They have changed a few things on the free tier to help garner more people to actually come and use the app and test it out. So that's what I'm going to do here, take advantage of that, and we'll see where this goes. This might just be me kick the tires for a week or two, and then I find out that nope, it's not going to be of any value to me, and I won't be able to use it any further. And yeah, probably just put it back on the shelf or at least completely delete my account and never look back again. So we'll see how that goes. But if you like the content on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until the next time, have a nice day.